The moment you stop needing applause is the moment you become dangerous. In this video, you will discover why the most successful people move in silence, how silent winners build power without seeking attention, why showing off weakens your focus, and how discipline, emotional control, and private growth create unstoppable momentum. You will understand the psychology behind silent confidence, why some people announce everything but achieve nothing, and how to protect your energy from envy, distractions, and unnecessary validation. If you want to develop a mindset that attracts respect without demanding it, then watch this video carefully until the end. And before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, activate the notification bell, share this video with someone who needs it, and leave a comment telling us, do you prefer moving in silence or showing your success to the world? The silent winner understands something most people never realize. Noise is often compensation. People who constantly announce their goals, display every achievement, and seek attention at every step are usually trying to convince themselves before convincing others. But the person who is truly focused does not have the time or the emotional need to constantly prove themselves. They are too busy building, too busy improving, too busy becoming. Silent winners know that attention can become an addiction. The moment your motivation depends on praise, your discipline becomes fragile. You stop working for growth and start working for reactions. You begin chasing applause instead of mastery. And that is where many people lose themselves. They become performers instead of builders. The dangerous thing about seeking validation is that it slowly gives other people control over your emotions. If they praise you, you feel motivated. If they ignore you, you lose energy. If they criticize you, you begin doubting yourself. Your emotional state becomes dependent on external voices, but the silent winner develops internal authority. They learn how to continue even when nobody notices, even when nobody claps, even when nobody believes in them. Because they are not driven by attention, they are driven by vision. There is a major difference between looking successful and becoming successful. Many people spend years creating the appearance of progress. Expensive clothes, motivational quotes, constant announcements, carefully edited lifestyles. But behind the image, there is often confusion, inconsistency, and emptiness. The silent winner understands that real power is built privately. Muscles are built in hidden workouts. Intelligence is built in lonely hours of study. Discipline is built in moments nobody sees. Character is built in silence. One of the greatest advantages of moving silently is protection. The more people know about your plans, the more energy you waste explaining yourself, defending yourself, and absorbing unnecessary opinions. Most people do not understand how dangerous constant exposure can be. Every time you announce a goal too early, you invite doubt, comparison, jealousy, and pressure into your mind. Instead of focusing on execution, you start focusing on how people perceive you, and slowly, your energy becomes divided. Silent winners protect their focus like a weapon. They do not reveal every move. They do not seek approval before taking action. They understand that privacy creates clarity. There is also a psychological reason why silence increases power. Human beings naturally respect what feels controlled and mysterious. Someone who constantly talks about themselves appears emotionally needy, but someone calm, disciplined, and focused creates presence without effort. Their energy feels different. They do not need to dominate every conversation because their actions speak louder than words. This is why truly powerful people often appear quieter than expected. They are not trying to impress anyone. They are observing, calculating, learning, and moving carefully. The silent winner also understands the danger of ego. Ego wants recognition before results. Ego wants to be seen working hard. Ego wants admiration immediately. But real success requires delayed gratification. It requires patience. It requires the ability to work in darkness for long periods without external rewards. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they cannot tolerate invisibility. They want immediate acknowledgement. They want proof that they matter. And because of that, they abandon the process too early. But silent winners are different. They understand that seasons of invisibility are necessary. They accept being underestimated. In fact, they use it as an advantage. When people underestimate you, they stop watching carefully. They become comfortable. They assume you are average, and while they are distracted, you continue improving quietly, day after day, skill after skill, habit after habit, until one day your results become impossible to ignore. There is another reason silent winners succeed more often. Silence protects emotional energy. Talking excessively about goals creates emotional exhaustion. Many people feel temporary satisfaction simply from discussing their dreams. Their brain mistakes talking for progress. They receive social approval before doing the actual work, and as a result, motivation decreases. But when you keep your goals private, your mind stays hungry. The energy remains directed toward action instead of conversation. This is why some of the most disciplined individuals rarely explain themselves. They do not waste emotional fuel on unnecessary words. The silent winner also learns emotional restraint. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every opinion deserves attention. Not every battle deserves participation. Weak minds react to everything. Strong minds choose carefully. Silence becomes a form of control. When you stop reacting impulsively, people lose the ability to manipulate your emotions. They can no longer predict you easily. Your calmness becomes intimidating because most people are controlled by emotional impulses. In a loud world filled with constant self promotion, silence becomes rare, and rare things naturally attract respect. Think about how modern society rewards visibility. People are encouraged to constantly display their lives, opinions, achievements, relationships, and emotions. Everyone wants to be seen, everyone wants attention, but very few people are building substance underneath the image. The silent winner focuses on depth instead of appearance. They would rather become valuable than look valuable. This mindset changes everything. Because when your focus shifts towards substance, your decisions become smarter. You stop chasing temporary validation and start investing in long-term growth. You stop competing for attention and start competing with your previous self. You stop needing everyone to notice you because your mission becomes larger than your ego. Silent winners are not necessarily introverts. Silence is not weakness, fear, or social isolation. It is strategic restraint. It is emotional discipline. It is understanding that not every thought must be spoken and not every achievement must be displayed. Some of the strongest individuals can speak confidently when necessary, but they never speak for attention alone. Their words carry weight because they are not wasted carelessly. Another hidden advantage of silent growth is resilience. When your identity is not dependent on public approval, failure becomes easier to survive. Public performers fear failure because their image is everything. But silent winners focus on improvement, not perfection. They are willing to fail privately, learn privately, and rebuild privately. This gives them psychological endurance that others lack. They are harder to break because their self-worth does not depend on constant admiration. Many people think confidence comes from being praised, but real confidence is built differently. Real confidence comes from promises you kept to yourself when nobody was watching. It comes from discipline repeated quietly over time. It comes from surviving difficult moments without needing sympathy from the world. The silent winner becomes strong because they learn how to rely on themselves emotionally. They stop needing constant reassurance. They stop explaining their value. They stop chasing attention from people who never intended to support them anyway. And eventually, something powerful happens. Their presence changes. Their energy becomes calmer, sharper, and more grounded. People begin noticing them without understanding exactly why, because true confidence is felt before it is spoken. The world is filled with loud people trying to appear important, but history repeatedly shows that the most effective individuals are often the most controlled. They move carefully, they think deeply, they speak intentionally, and when they act, their actions create impact because they were built on preparation instead of performance. The silent winner understands patience better than most people. They know success is not built in dramatic moments, it is built in repeated, invisible choices. Waking up early when nobody sees it, staying disciplined when motivation disappears, continuing to learn while others waste time comparing themselves online, remaining calm when life becomes difficult, protecting focus in a distracted world. These small, invisible victories eventually create visible results. And by the time the world notices the success, the silent winner has already become a completely different person internally. Most people only see the outcome. They do not see the years of silence behind it. They do not see the sacrifices, the isolation, the emotional control, the discipline, the self-doubt that was conquered quietly. They only see the success after it becomes visible. But the silent winner knows the truth. The real transformation happened long before anyone noticed. And once you understand this mindset deeply, you stop feeling desperate to prove yourself to others. You begin focusing on becoming undeniable instead of becoming visible. You stop announcing every step and start respecting the process. You realize that attention is temporary, but mastery creates lasting power. And slowly, you begin separating yourself from the crowd that constantly seeks validation while neglecting real growth. The silent winner does not rush to show success because they understand something powerful. When your foundation is real, results will eventually speak for themselves. And when that day comes, people will think your success appeared suddenly. But only you will know how much silence, patience, discipline, and hidden struggle were required to become the person they are finally noticing now. But there is a darker side to silence that most people never talk about. Silence can either build you or destroy you depending on what exists inside your mind. Some people stay silent because they are focused. Others stay silent because they are afraid. The silent winner learns the difference. They do not hide because of insecurity. They move quietly because they understand the value of control. Fearful silence shrinks a person. Powerful silence sharpens them. And this distinction changes everything. Many people misunderstand the idea of moving in silence. They think it means becoming emotionally cold or disconnected from the world. But true silent strength is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally disciplined. It is about choosing your reactions carefully instead of giving every person access to your inner state. Weak people reveal everything immediately: every frustration, every insecurity, every victory, every plan. Their emotions constantly leak outward. But disciplined individuals know that energy must be directed wisely. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. Not everyone deserves explanations. Not everyone deserves your emotional honesty. Some people only study your weaknesses to use them later. This is why silent winners observe more than they speak. Observation is one of the greatest hidden powers in life. Loud people rarely notice details because they are too busy performing. But quiet individuals often see everything. They notice body language, inconsistencies, hidden intentions, emotional shifts, manipulation patterns, and changes in behavior. Silence creates awareness, and awareness creates advantage. The person who controls their tongue often gains access to information others never receive, because when you speak less, people reveal more. They become comfortable around silence and unconsciously expose themselves. This is one reason emotionally intelligent individuals rarely rush to fill empty space with words. They understand the power of listening. The silent winner also becomes dangerous because they are difficult to read. Predictability makes manipulation easier. When people know exactly what affects you emotionally, they know how to control you. They know which compliments influence you, which criticisms hurt you, and which fears weaken you. But when you become emotionally balanced and less reactive, you become harder to manipulate. Your calmness creates uncertainty in others. They cannot easily control someone who does not constantly seek validation or react impulsively. Modern society trains people to constantly display themselves. Every achievement must be posted, every experience must be shared, every emotion must be broadcast publicly. But this constant exposure creates weakness over time. You slowly lose the ability to exist without external feedback. Silence becomes uncomfortable because you are addicted to being noticed, and this addiction quietly destroys focus. Silent winners break free from this trap. They learn how to work without immediate recognition. They understand that some of the most important transformations in life happen privately. Think about nature itself. The strongest roots grow underground where nobody can see them. Yet those hidden roots are what allow the tree to survive storms. Human beings are no different. Your visible success can only become stable if invisible discipline supports it underneath. Without internal strength, external success eventually collapses. This is why some people achieve fame, money, or attention, yet remain mentally weak. Their external image grew faster than their internal foundation. Silent winners reverse this process. They build internally first. Their discipline grows before their reputation grows. Their mindset strengthens before their success becomes public. And because of that, They are harder to destroy when pressure arrives. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that not everyone needs to understand your journey. Many people waste years trying to explain themselves to people committed to misunderstanding them. They seek approval from individuals who cannot even see their vision clearly. But the silent winner eventually realizes that explanation is often wasted energy. Results communicate more effectively than arguments ever will. Instead of defending themselves constantly, they focus on building evidence through action. Quiet consistency eventually becomes undeniable. There is also something psychologically freeing about no longer needing attention. The moment you stop depending on praise, you regain control over your mind. You no longer feel emotionally trapped by opinions. Criticism loses some of its power. Rejection becomes less painful. Comparison becomes less important. Your emotional state becomes more stable because it is no longer controlled by external reactions. This is one reason peaceful people often appear powerful. Their stability comes from internal grounding rather than social approval. The silent winner also understands timing. Not every opportunity requires immediate exposure. Sometimes revealing your plans too early attracts unnecessary resistance. Human beings naturally react to change, ambition, and growth with mixed emotions. Some will support you genuinely. Others will secretly envy you. Others will project their fears onto your goals. And if your mindset is still fragile, too much external noise can weaken your momentum. This is why disciplined individuals often build quietly until their results become solid enough to withstand judgment. Silence protects fragile growth during its early stages. Many people dream about becoming successful, respected, and independent, but very few are willing to endure the loneliness required to achieve those things, because real growth often feels invisible at first. You work hard without immediate results. You improve without recognition. You sacrifice comfort while others appear to enjoy life freely. And during these periods, doubt becomes dangerous. This is where loud validation seekers usually quit. They need constant proof that their effort matters, but silent winners continue anyway. They trust the process even when visible rewards are delayed. They understand that mastery requires repetition long before recognition arrives. The world often celebrates outcomes while ignoring preparation. People admire confidence without understanding the years of insecurity someone had to overcome quietly. They admire discipline without seeing the private battles against laziness, distraction, fear, and self-doubt. They admire calmness without understanding the emotional storms someone learned to control internally. Silent winners know that the visible version of a person is only the surface. Real transformation always happens in hidden moments first. And perhaps the most powerful shift happens when you stop trying to look powerful altogether. Truly strong individuals rarely obsess over appearing dominant. They no longer need to prove superiority constantly because their confidence is rooted deeper than image. Ironically, the less desperate you become to impress people, the more respect you naturally attract, because desperation has an energy people can feel immediately. Neediness weakens presence. Calm self-control strengthens it. Silent winners focus on substance so intensely that image becomes secondary, and over time, this creates a quiet form of magnetism that cannot be faked. The dangerous truth is that many people spend their entire lives chasing visibility instead of capability. They want to appear successful before becoming successful. They want admiration before discipline, attention before mastery, and because of this, they remain trapped in shallow cycles of performance. But the silent winner chooses differently. They accept temporary invisibility in exchange for long-term strength. They are willing to be underestimated, willing to be doubted, willing to move without applause, because they know something the loud world keeps forgetting. Real power does not scream for attention. Real power grows silently until its presence becomes impossible to ignore. And once you begin understanding this deeply, your relationship with people starts changing completely. You stop feeling impressed by noise alone. You begin seeing how many individuals use constant talking as camouflage for insecurity. The loudest person in the room is not always the strongest. In many cases, they are simply the most desperate to be noticed. Silent winners learn how to separate confidence from performance. Real confidence feels calm. It does not rush. It does not beg for recognition. It does not force itself into every conversation. It carries itself with quiet certainty because it no longer depends on external approval to survive. This is why emotionally mature people often appear less dramatic than everyone else around them. They no longer need emotional chaos to feel alive. One of the greatest skills a silent winner develops is restraint under pressure. Anyone can appear calm when life is easy. But true mental strength is revealed during disrespect, failure, betrayal, loss, and uncertainty. Most people lose control quickly when emotions intensify. Anger controls them, fear controls them, ego controls them. But the silent winner trains themselves differently. They understand that every emotional reaction has consequences. One impulsive response can destroy years of progress. One uncontrolled moment can expose weaknesses that disciplined silence would have protected. So instead of reacting emotionally to everything, they pause, they observe, they think carefully, and this ability alone separates them from the majority of people. Emotional control is a form of hidden power. People underestimate how dangerous composure can become. A calm mind thinks more clearly, makes better decisions, notices opportunities faster, avoids unnecessary conflict, and most importantly, it remains functional while emotional people collapse under pressure. This is why silent winners often appear almost unaffected by situations that overwhelm others. It is not because they feel nothing. It is because they learned not to become servants to temporary emotions. They feel emotions fully, but they refuse to let emotions lead their lives blindly. Another truth many people avoid is that growth sometimes requires distance. Silent winners often separate themselves from environments that constantly drain their focus, not because they hate people, but because they understand how strongly environments shape the mind. If you are surrounded by negativity, distraction, gossip, envy, and emotional chaos every day, eventually your thinking becomes contaminated by those patterns. Energy is contagious, habits are contagious, mentalities are contagious. This is why disciplined individuals protect their environment carefully. They become selective about conversations, relationships, and influences. They understand that peace is not accidental. It is built through conscious choices. Sometimes the silent winner looks lonely from the outside, but there is a major difference between loneliness and isolation with purpose. Many people fear being alone because silence forces them to confront themselves. Without distractions, insecurities become louder, regrets become visible, unresolved emotions surface. This is why many individuals constantly seek noise, attention, entertainment, or relationships. They are escaping themselves. But silent winners eventually stop running inwardly. They learn how to sit alone with their thoughts without collapsing emotionally. And once you conquer that internal discomfort, something changes permanently. You stop needing constant stimulation to feel complete. Your mind becomes stronger because it is no longer dependent on external distraction. This inner independence creates a kind of freedom most people never experience. Imagine how powerful it becomes when your peace no longer depends on being praised, accepted, entertained, or validated. At that point, manipulation loses power over you. Society loses some of its control over you. Fear loses some of its control over you, because your emotional stability now comes from within rather than from external conditions. Silent winners build this stability slowly through discipline and self-awareness. They do not become mentally strong overnight. They become strong through repeated moments of choosing growth over comfort. There is also an uncomfortable reality about success that few people discuss honestly. The higher you rise, the more important silence becomes. When you begin improving your life seriously, not everyone will celebrate you. Some people will quietly resent your discipline because it reminds them of their excuses. Others will project negativity onto your ambitions because they abandoned their own dreams long ago. Some will smile in front of you while secretly hoping you fail. This is why experienced individuals often move carefully. They understand human nature better. They know that excessive exposure attracts unnecessary problems. Silence becomes a shield protecting both focus and peace. The silent winner does not waste energy trying to convince doubters. They understand that some people only believe in results after they become undeniable. So instead of arguing, they continue building privately, day after day. While others talk, complain, compare, and seek attention, the silent winner continues developing skills, discipline, emotional resilience, and strategic thinking. And because this process is invisible, people underestimate it for a long time. But eventually, the difference becomes obvious because hidden effort compounds quietly over years. One of the most dangerous habits in modern life is comparison. Social media especially has trained people to compare their private reality to everyone else's public performance. This destroys focus. It creates insecurity, impatience, and emotional exhaustion. Silent winners escape this trap by focusing inward. They stop measuring their worth against appearances. They understand that many visible lifestyles are carefully edited illusions. Real growth cannot be measured by online attention. Some of the strongest transformations happen completely outside public view. The person quietly healing emotionally, quietly studying every night, quietly improving discipline, quietly rebuilding their life after failure, quietly controlling destructive habits. These victories rarely receive applause, yet they are often more important than public achievements. Silent winners respect these invisible battles because they understand how difficult they truly are. Another important shift happens when you stop announcing every intention. Goals become more powerful when protected by action instead of excessive words. Many people unknowingly sabotage themselves by speaking too much about what they plan to do. Talking creates temporary emotional satisfaction that imitates accomplishment, but silent winners prefer execution over discussion. They understand that discipline is measured by completed actions, not exciting intentions. This mindset creates momentum because energy remains focused on progress rather than performance. Over time, this consistency builds trust within yourself, and self-trust is one of the foundations of real confidence. Because when you repeatedly prove to yourself that you can stay disciplined quietly, your mind becomes stronger. You begin respecting yourself differently, not because others admire you, but because you know who you are privately. That kind of confidence cannot be purchased, copied, or faked. The silent winner eventually reaches a stage where external noise loses much of its influence. Praise no longer creates arrogance. Criticism no longer destroys motivation. Attention no longer becomes necessary for self-worth. Their identity becomes rooted deeper than temporary reactions from the world, and this emotional stability gives them a massive advantage in life because stable minds make clearer decisions than emotionally dependent minds. In the end, the silent winner is not someone who avoids the world. It is someone who learned how to move through the world without becoming controlled by it. Someone who learned that attention is fleeting, but inner strength lasts. Someone who stopped wasting energy trying to appear important and instead became valuable quietly. And while the world continues chasing visibility, applause, and constant recognition, the silent winner keeps building in silence, becoming stronger, wiser, calmer, and more dangerous with every invisible step forward. Puck. And perhaps this is the final lesson the silent winner learns. Life becomes lighter the moment you stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. You stop wasting years explaining your value to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop chasing validation from crowds that disappear the moment you struggle. You stop needing attention to confirm your existence. Instead, you become focused on something far more powerful, becoming the strongest version of yourself privately, quietly, consistently. The truth is, some of the greatest victories in life happen in silence. The moment you resist an old destructive habit, the moment you remain calm during disrespect, the moment you continue working while nobody believes in you, the moment you discipline yourself instead of following temporary emotions. These moments rarely receive applause, but they shape your destiny more than public recognition ever will. Silent winners understand that greatness is not built in front of an audience. It is built in ordinary, invisible moments repeated over time, and eventually, this private discipline changes your entire presence. You no longer enter rooms trying to impress people. You no longer feel desperate to speak constantly. You no longer seek approval from every person around you. Your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. Your energy becomes calmer but more powerful, and people begin noticing something different about you without understanding exactly what changed. Because true strength has a presence words cannot fully explain. The world today is filled with people trying to appear extraordinary while secretly feeling lost inside. But the silent winner chooses another path. They choose substance over appearance, discipline over excitement, patience over ego, inner peace over endless attention. And while others waste years performing for the world, the silent winner spends those same years building a mind that cannot easily be broken. So as you move forward from this video, remember this carefully. Not every victory needs witnesses. Not every plan needs to be announced. Not every achievement needs to be displayed immediately. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay focused while the world is distracted. Stay disciplined while others seek shortcuts. Stay calm while others lose control. And continue building your future quietly until your results become impossible to ignore. If this video spoke to you deeply, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, activate the notification bell, and share this video with someone who is trying to grow silently in a loud world. And now, tell me in the comments, do you believe real success should be silent, or should people show the world everything they achieve?